Welcome one and all to the 2025 St. Paul String Quartet Competition pre-final round interviews. I am Ray Shows, first violinist of the Artaria String Quartet, founded in Boston and now in residence in Minnesota. I'm also founder and director of America's premier competition exclusively for high school and pre-professional string quartets. This year marks a significant milestone as we celebrate the 20th anniversary of the St. Paul String Quartet Competition. It is my great honor to introduce to you the HESPER Quartet from SUNY Stony Brook. Please wave. Okay, guys and gals, in this interview, I've selected a series of icebreaker questions that will offer the audience an opportunity to learn more about you super talented musicians beyond your performances. Quartet members, let's start out by telling the audiences your name, the instrument you play, and where you are from originally. And let's start on Valerie's side.
Sure. My name is Valerie. I'm one of the violinists of this quartet, and I was born in California, and I've lived in New York since I was about 12 years old, and I've been here since.
Hi, I'm Yejin Yu, and I'm the another violinist. I am from South Korea, and I've lived in the States for 7 years.
Hi, my name is Connor, and I'm the cellist of the quartet. I'm originally from California, but I also moved here for school.
Hi, I'm Sohee Yoon, a violist from South Korea. I was born in Jeju Island. It's been 9 years in the States.
Fantastic. Now, when did the four of you coalesce into a string quartet? Could one of you describe that? How you got together as a group?
Yeah, so actually, I go to Juilliard, and they were at Stony Brook, but Sohee and we've run into each other at a lot of different festivals, and we really enjoyed playing with each other. And so one day she actually reached out asking if I wanted to read, and so I joined the quartet. Yeah, it was just an easy decision to make, and I really wanted to get into quartet playing. And then we unfortunately had a member change last year, but we managed to find Valerie Kim. Yeah. And so that's how we are our current quartet today.
So the HESPER Quartet, whether in name or not, has been together basically 2 years?
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Okay, good. So that's a seasoned group. You're already multi-year. This is great. You know, audiences are always curious about quartet names. I wonder if you could please describe the process of choosing a name for your ensemble 2 years ago. Who wants to do that?
I'm not the one who chose the name, but I think it's a great name. I mean, sure, like audiences like to know about the quartet name, but I feel like whenever I meet a new quartet, I also want to know about their name. So HESPER is a Greek word for evening star, and I think the inspiration originally came from how every star in the sky has its own story that us humans have attributed to it, and yeah, each star has its special story, special meaning, and we think of the pieces that we play similarly. As each one being its individual masterpiece, celestial masterpiece. But it's specifically Venus when it shows up in the evening. So it's one of the first stars to kind of brighten up the sky and kind of lead the ships. Yeah. So it's evening star, but it's specifically Venus in the evening. So.
We're very special, in other words.
Yeah. If that was not already clear.
Beautifully said, and beautiful follow-up there, Connor, as well. Yeah, you guys are part of a constellation of wonderful string quartets that not only have come through our competition and other events, but that's a unique name. We've never had in 20 years. That name has never occurred. And there's been some pretty creative names over the last 20 years. So you are the official HESPER Quartet for the competition.
We made sure that it's special. It never overlaps. Yeah.
It is a challenge picking a name.
Yeah.
It's very rare that it just pops out. And I love the stories, and that's why it's one of the first icebreaker questions that we put out there, because it really is a nice way for the audience to see how you interact right off the bat here without having to think too much, because it's right there. That's great. So let's move on to the repertoire. How did HESPER Quartet select its competition repertoire? Valerie, you want to answer that one?
Sure, sure. We were already working on the second Bartok quartet. We were delving into it already, and then we thought to apply. And we wanted to find, Bartok kind of straddles late romantic into, contemporary era. So we wanted to find something either classical or early romantic. And I, for one, having played a ton of Schubert, and I think we had our mind on Schubert as well. And the Bartok we had already been working on together, and then we wanted to find something that, had enough contrast and would allow us to explore some new colors and some new, some new textures as a group. And I think the quartet slots is such a staple in the repertoire for just kind of honing your quartet sound. And I think that early romantic contrast with the very late romantic of Bartok is how we ended up choosing.
That's great. These are two fabulous pieces that you guys have chosen and mainstays of the repertoire. Now that allows me to lead into the next question in a nice flow here. The senior division compulsory round this year features a fantastic work by Shulamit Ran called String Quartet Number 3, Glitter, Doom, Shards, and Memory. And of course, we selected one movement from it, and it was a bit of a challenge for me to do that. How is that piece coming along for you guys? Connor, you want to go with that one?
Okay.
Oh my gosh, yeah, sure. I think, well, first of all, it's a wonderful piece. I really do deeply love it, and I feel the enthusiasm from my colleagues as well. And I think it's a very important piece, especially in the current time. And I really hope we can do it justice. And I really look forward to performing it with all of you guys there. Yeah.
We had actually started working on this piece together before we had come across the competition.
That's right, yeah.
I had the pleasure of working with Shulamit Ran on this piece 3 years ago at Yellow Barn at this music festival. She was the composer in residence there. So I took my work there and I came to this quartet and was like, we have to play this quartet. And then Yejin found this competition, was like, oh, they actually require the first movement of this piece. So we're like, perfect. I guess we have to apply, and it's
Destiny.
Destiny, yeah. Destiny for the Venus star. I like that.
Yes.
Great. Yeah. This is my fun question for the group, okay? So how would you describe your quartet's rehearsal style?
Oh my gosh. It goes very unexpectedly. It's very random sometimes. During our rehearsal, we sometimes just read stuff we want to play. And then
we often warm up that way, actually. Just
Yeah.
by saying-
yeah.
We play Disney themes a lot.
You guys are fun.
just to embrace the true characters,
Yeah.
like Disney music to bring that
Also,
out.
when we discuss about the characters of the music, we sometimes bring the Disney characters.
Like which princess are we choosing?
Or which character in this movie?
Yeah.
Well, every group has to find its way of communicating and working through a piece. Every group, there's no two that are the same.
Right.
And so if this is how you or the four of you operate and you seem to enjoy being in the same space with each other, it must be working. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's highly competitive to get into this event. Okay. So it must be working at this point. And,
Yay, Disney!
yeah. That's wonderful. Oh, that's fun. I'm sure the audiences will appreciate that. And I thank you for sharing. That is great. Now, here's a more serious question. What do you think about the direction of chamber music in this country now?
I guess the first thing that comes to mind for me is the aspect of programming, that it's not, it doesn't feel like it's enough to just put a bunch of staples of the quartet repertoire onto a concert and call it a day. I think audiences are looking for programs that are curated, programs that are around a certain theme or a certain idea. And I don't think that's just for chamber music. I think that's just something that we're expecting as audience members now.
What do you think is chamber music's superpower in that task? What makes? Go ahead.
I think personally, I mean, I don't know about it being easier, but I think it's far more accessible now to be able to reach out to composers to ask them to write pieces. In comparison to orchestras, for example. I mean, we have big projects that orchestras have, but I think in a way, writing chamber music in smaller ensemble pieces, it's far, I wouldn't say easier, but it's probably, yeah, a bit easier to write a lot more for them. And I think in a way, programming new pieces is something that is a new direction that I think chamber music is often going these days as well. And you hear such exciting new things that you've never heard before. And I personally think that that's so important. Because we need to keep on creating. I think we can't just stop to preserve things. As much as that is important, but I think we need to figure out ways to keep it going. And even though it's a really uncomfortable time, obviously, I think we just need to keep on getting through it that way. Just keep on trying something new. Yeah.
Also, the strength of chamber music is that we can go, like, outreach is easier for us too. Yeah, to reach audiences in different places, in a different concert halls. I mean, settings.
Yeah,
And
like more.
it doesn't have to, it doesn't have to be concert halls. We can go to school or anywhere, you know, to just perform at hospital. We loved working, in the
Is there like a particular story or any other element of the Hesper Quartet diaspora that you'd like to share with your audiences before we part ways today? If there's maybe a story that you, an event, something that happened to the quartet that would illuminate like how you are and how you interact and.
Oh my goodness, easy. Oh,
okay, here you go.
Yeah, you know. So actually, I mean, I think we're a really fun group, and one of the ways that we like to decompress is we play this game called PUBG. It's called PUBG Mobile, and it's like a first-person. It's like a team-building game. I feel it is.
It's a squad. It's a squad game.
Squad game. It's like a first-person shooter game. It is quite violent, but it's also really fun because it helps build a lot of communication, I think, and
teamwork.
It does, because but we're at least the three of us are really bad at it, or at least they're better than me. But Yejin here is a seasoned player, and she was the one who actually brought it into us. And so since then, I don't know. I feel like there's a modicum of like more enthusiasm from everybody, and the way we communicate also is actually, I think it's opened up different ways we've communicated as well.
So we start with Disney songs, then we rehearse,